Now, the big news that you'll hear today is the CIA saying, oh, look at that, we've got proof. It's the Russians. The Russians mess with our elections. Oh, boy. Now, there's a big headline in the New York Times today, basically that said CIA judgment on Russia built on swell of evidence. Swell of evidence. We've got a lot of evidence. Really? What's your evidence? Well, we're going to break that down. Let's take a look. Now, this article was written by Mark Mazzetti and Eric Lichtblau. Now, it basically first frames the discussion as if everybody agrees that the Russians were openly manipulating the election, something that the FBI, for example, is saying, not really, we don't quite know. And even the CIA, people in the CIA are saying, not quite. But maybe we're thinking it, but not quite. Okay, so now that we know that everybody doesn't agree, let's go further into this. Now, they write, American spy and law enforcement agencies were united in the belief. In the weeks before the presidential elections, the Russian government had deployed computer hackers to sow chaos during the campaign, but they had conflicting views about the specific goals of the subterfuge. That's what he writes. Now, in a previous segment, you just saw, I broke down, with the help of Glenn Greenwald, how the narrative that WikiLeaks was doctoring the Podesta emails on behalf of the Russians was essentially bullshit put out by Clinton backers and then disseminated out into the corporate media, right? I just did that segment. Now, so where's the proof that all the spy and law enforcement agencies are united? I just mentioned that the FBI is a little tepid on this, as well as some people in the CIA. So, okay, let's go to them in their own words. Now, they said the CIA's conclusion does not appear to be the product of specific new intelligence obtained since the election. Several American officials, including some who had read the agency's briefing, said on Sunday rather it was an analysis of what many believe is overwhelming circumstantial evidence. Evidence that others feel does not support firm judgments that the Russians put a thumb on the scale for Mr. Trump and got their desired outcome. Now understand, very important, circumstantial evidence. Okay, look, there is some circumstantial evidence, some of which actually makes a lot of sense. But stay with me here, because I'm just breaking this down. I'm breaking down the facts, and I'll give my opinion on this at the end of the segment. Now, for example, Donald Trump, does he have business ties with Russia? Yes, he does. Will Trump use his office to advance his business? Of course. We know Donald Trump, he's interested in the money, of course. So, look, Donald Trump, for example, in Argentina, he was talked to the president of Argentina. Ivanka was there, which was kind of weird. Now, after that discussion, after that call, 3 days later, Donald Trump got one of his hotels approved that he was waiting for a long time to get approved. Now, suddenly he's president-elect. Business gets moving. Shit gets done. Interesting. That's all I have to say on that. Now, but is that enough evidence that Putin, literally, Putin his hand on the, or his thumb on the scale? I know, terrible attempt at a pun there, but, and very, very unnecessary. No, I don't think that is enough evidence. Yes, he will advance his own business interests. That doesn't mean that Russia hacked for him, okay? Or that the Russians are involved. I have a hard time believing this whole CIA thing. But anyway, now let's continue to let Mazzetti and Lichtblau make their case. Now, they write, in July, the infiltration of the DNC computer servers produced embarrassing emails and other internal party documents. Notice how they're not denying the veracity of these, by the way. The publication of which caused a backlash that led to the resignation of the committee's chairwoman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and her top staff. Just weeks before the election, hacked emails from the account of John Podesta, Ms. Clinton's campaign manager, were made to the public and produced numerous stories about the internal dynamics of her campaign. That hack also produced the text of speeches Mrs. Clinton had given to Wall Street banks. Now, was it Russia that hacked into those servers? Maybe. We don't have any proof that they didn't, and we don't have a lot of proof that they did. Now, even if they did, that still doesn't discount what was in those emails or those Goldman Sachs speeches. Note that this article doesn't even attempt to disprove this. They're just like, yeah, it was embarrassing documents. Moving on. You know, now they continue. American intelligence officials believe that Russia also penetrated databases housing RNC data. Now this is interesting, but chose to release documents only in the Democrat. The committee, of course, denies that it was hacked. Reince Priebus, of course, came out and said, no, we weren't hacked at all. What are you talking about? I'm just going to go and pour some Baileys in my cereal now. Yeah, trust me, I would start every morning like that if I could. Now look, if they did hack into the RNC and held information against Donald Trump and other Republicans for blackmail purposes, as this narrative seems to point to, well, that would be a very interesting story. But again, the one thing that we seem to be missing here is actual proof. I would like to know if there's proof. Now, could it be true? Yes, possibly. It definitely is possible. But we don't know. All they have is circumstantial evidence that Donald Trump is favored by Putin and that somebody hacked into the DNC and maybe somebody hacked into the RNC. Okay. Well, look, don't know. Now, as far as Putin favoring Donald Trump, Putin also favors other Republicans. And other Republicans, if you look, I remember before Donald Trump ran, before we had this whole election, you had a lot of Republicans out there that essentially had giant hard-ons for Putin. Oh my God, Putin, he's so strong. He's so tough. Oh, he's such a strong leader. Look at him riding around topless on a horse. Oh my God, I just came. That's it. Look, yes, of course, Putin loves right-wingers. Right-wingers for a long time really loved Putin. Now, why does Putin love the Republican Party? Why does he love right-wingers so much? Because he is a right-winger. Now that doesn't mean, however, that he necessarily screwed with the election to get Donald Trump. Again, they have nothing more than circumstantial evidence. Now, they continue. Beyond the specific targets of the hacks, American officials cite broad evidence, they keep using that word, that Mr. Putin and the Russian government favored Mr. Trump over Mrs. Clinton. Well, we all knew that. After demonstrators marched through the Moscow streets in 2011, chanting Putin is a thief and Russia without Putin, Mr. Putin accused Mrs. Clinton, then Secretary of State, of instigating the protests. He said, she set the tone for some actors in our country and gave them a signal. Ridiculous, but I think it's just the normal politics. Now, more generally, the Russian government blamed Mrs. Clinton, along with the CIA and other American officials, for encouraging anti-Russian revolts during the 2003 Rose Revolution in Georgia and the 2004 Orange Revolution in Ukraine. So this is them basically making the case, well, they didn't like Hillary Clinton, so they messed with the election to get Donald Trump elected. Again, no evidence. Now, as far as the CIA instigating different revolutions, well, I never. Yeah, of course they have. They do instigate revolts. That's what the CIA has done. Look, they've overthrown governments and they've installed U.S. puppets. Look at Iran. We overthrew the Shah of Iran and instituted our own person, and then they got pissed off, obviously, that we destroyed their government and put in a lackey, that they overthrew it, and now we have the fundamentalist Republic of Iran. CIA. Hey. So look, yeah, it is kind of ironic now that the CIA is saying, oh, see, they're trying to mess with our elections. They're trying to mess with our political, our politics. They're trying to mess with our government. Well, you've been messing with other governments for, 40, 50, 60 years. Okay. Now, look, I'm not pro-Trump, obviously. I'm not pro-Putin. Okay? I'm not pro-Russia. I just want to point that out in case you're getting that whole vibe here from me. No, what I want is evidence. I want better evidence before we start throwing around these kind of accusations that could cause further issues with Russia. Again, not a fan. But again, I'm also not a fan of war. Not that I know that it would get that far, but still, it's not good. You don't know what Putin's going to do. Now, as I said, I want more investigations. Excuse me. I want more investigations. I want facts. I want more data. I want proof. Because look, we have seen these agencies play politics. Okay. For example, the FBI. James Comey played politics when he released, a week before the election said, oh my, we got this bombshell. What was it? Oh, it wasn't really anything new. We didn't find anything new in the Clinton thing. Now, of course, the Clinton campaign is saying, "Oh my God, James Comey. That's it. That's what caused us to lose the election." No. Hillary Clinton, you lost the election not because of Russian hacking, not because of James Comey, but because you were a terrible candidate. You were awful. You ran as the pro-establishment candidate in a year, in an election where the establishment is despised by the majority of the American public. You didn't get Democrats out to vote for you because you were voting on the same exact thing. Anyway, politics, right? No, James Comey, yes, he totally played politics with that whole thing. So it's not a far leap to see the CIA also maybe playing politics. That's why we can't trust these organizations anymore. And that's why we need more verification. We need more facts. If it's proven that Russia did hack without a shadow of a doubt and then used information to elevate Trump, okay, that would be a pretty big fucking deal. Okay. But again, right now, I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to ask for more information, more facts, more investigations. We need to make sure we do this right. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.